When you get a client or you see a fund pitch, what is it? Is there anything that makes you think, oh yeah, they're going to make it? They're going to attract other capital?
Well, you can sense it in the room with them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done it off the back of a pitch deck. Thought, oh, this is going to happen. I think the best ones are always, they embody this really quite sort of inherent contradiction. It's a very unusual kind of set of things. I think the ambition, the confidence, the drive, this sense of walking through walls to make things happen. You can get a sense of that very quickly from someone in terms of just the way they're going about building and the sense of inevitability about this team or these individuals have just got to do something quite special.
Yeah.
And you could sense that. And I think that's so important, like when they're meeting LPs for the first time, it's a huge part of what's going on in that first meeting, probably the first 2 or 3. It's just like, are they actually going to be able to sort of just get this off the ground? But at the same time, the ones that I think that really intrigue me and that I think are just the perfect sort of combination really of sort of things. And like I said, I think in some ways they're sort of a bit paradoxical, which is this also a sort of real constant reality check around how challenging certain things are. They're in the detail. They are practical about certain steps. They're not missing things.
Yes.
So they've got that real ambition and drive, but they're sort of every day just there's a check on that, and there's a humility to it as well. Again, that's something in the room with investors. They want to see that passion and that brilliance and that sort of insight, but they also want to sort of see that this, the quality of some of the way that they're thinking about their own skill sets, what's going to be required here, and just that sort of strange tension there.
Yeah.
They've got to be, it comes up everywhere. They've got to be salespeople, but at the same time, they've got to be phenomenally good listeners to just understand what these investors are really needing from them in the process of building.
So they've got to be well-rounded individuals, or at least well-rounded as a team.
Well, yes, the team thing's an interesting one, right? Because it's like they've got to be great team builders. They've got to really understand what it means to sort of mentor and recruit on a different level to when they were in a bigger place.
Yeah.
Where they might have said, oh, well, I hire that team, but it's not the same as building a team as a founder. But then also show real leadership and indulge, they're competitive and quite, there's a certain type of talent where that's actually also part of it as well. So that it's not just about looking after team. There's still a sort of sense of some of these other qualities at play. And everyone's got a slightly different balance, but you can guarantee you won't. It's going to be a challenge if it's all in on one side of those things.
No, because the wow effect is never on paper, especially emerging managers. Joe, it's the same for you.
Yeah,
we are quite early in the curve, so we're always one of the first few phone calls when they want to meet prospect investors. So it means also that the pitch is often not in a good shape, right?
Yeah.
So of course, it's our job also to see through that imperfect marketing, but then you meet the people, you learn about their vision, you see a bit how they interact, how they respond when they get really challenged, because in first meetings we tend to challenge, of course with a lot of respect, but challenge a bit, what they want to set up, to make sure that they have all things covered, that they have a clear vision. Of course, I think a lot of emerging managers actually refine a bit their strategy. So if you compare the first speech and the last speech, actually, you see some of them refining a bit without betraying what they have said to the early investor, but still refining the strategy. And I think this very, very rich, that's a very intellectually, it's very enriching experience to see that.
It's a good sign, I guess, if they're still evolving. All businesses, all entrepreneurial businesses, they never end up how you have put them down on paper in the beginning, because you're adapting and evolving. As you pitch, you're reacting to people's reaction on it. And then when you go out to market, you're reacting to how the market reacts to it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the wow effect often takes place when you walk out of the room. They're like, okay, we see there is a clear vision. They spotted something that is a bit new. They have a good experience, they have a good network. Okay, let's do some work on it. Do the reference call. That's always what we do in the first place. And then you start to build your conviction, from that.
You do the referencing first. Oh, quite early in the process.
Yeah, quite early. Yeah, quite early. Yeah, quite early.
And that's because it's just as an activity so revealing in its own right, and avoid doing too much diligence where you could have just spoken to one person who said, don't go there.
Yeah, no, I think it's not. I think we always try to do 360 references, but of course, because the track record, even if you have an attributable track record, like your previous firm signed off on the track record. Okay, that's a good start. Some firms do, some others don't. But still, you need to check, okay, what was the level of involvement of that person, that personal contribution into the deal? Because, of course, when we see sometimes, teams spinning off from a very large blue chip PE firm, they spin off and say, okay, we're going to do the same as what we have done the last 20 years. And then the first question I say, I always try to chase it. Is it the right thing?